Hi, everybody. Russ from the West Ham Network. Hope you're all safe and well, my friends. I know it's a Wednesday. I'm on a Wednesday. Moved it around this week, so I've got to go to the office tomorrow. So Anton's going to do tomorrow, so I'm doing Wednesday. Anyway. If you're new around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a bloody good subscribe. And hit the bell notification so you don't miss any content. We've got loads of cool stuff coming up actually this week. Tonight, really cool show. We're calling it From the Archives. And it's actually Martin Godliman we have on for the appreciation nights, the voice of London Stadium. He obviously done a lot of interviews with a lot of ex-players and stuff like that, and he found, like you do, behind the back of a sofa, an interview he did with Julian Dix back in 2006. It's about an hour and a half long, so it's almost like a complete show, really. So we thought we'll put it out tonight. So that's going to be out tonight, 8 o'clock. So be available to watch from then on. So enjoy that. Tomorrow night we've got another X-Hammer live. We've got Slates is back on, friend of the channel, Stuart Slates is coming on to answer your questions, your burning questions about West Ham. It's a great show when we do these sort of live Q&As. No script. It's all about you guys, so make sure you get there nice and early from 9 o'clock tomorrow night with your questions for Stuart Slater, obviously within reason. But obviously, he's one of the club ambassadors as well, so he's at the games quite a lot, every game. So he can give his perspective from the rest of the ambassadors and stuff like that. So we've got Slates coming on tomorrow night, and we've got some really good names lined up for these sort of live Q&As for the next few weeks. We've got Trevor Morley, we've got Peter Butler, we've got Timmy Breaker, Matty Holmes. That's in the next sort of 3 or 4 weeks. So the only way you can make sure you don't miss anything is hit that bell notification down there. We're going to talk about Declan Rice in a minute. Let's have a look in the chat. So we got, if it's true, that's great news. Would be fantastic. Signed a contract extension. Not quite yet. But we'll report. I'll report what we spoke about in sort of the thumbnail very, very shortly. For all the injuries, it's going to be hard running. It certainly is. Adam. Gaz is in the house. Hope you're well. Rob's in the house. Everyone's talking to her. Paul's no more points for us. We will not win any games anymore. Do not beat any teams left to play. Oh dear, someone give Paul a hug. Actually, last night I went to the Inclusive Irons. I did 50 Years 3 Pioneers event which sort of marked the 50th anniversary of the first team to play with 3 back players, which was West Ham, in Eddie Coker, Clive Best, and Clive Charles. Really good night, and we've got some really good footage, so we put together a little compilation of some great speakers on there as well, and so we'll be putting that out this week as well. And then we start going for Chelsea. How exciting. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. Times tough never last, only tough people last. Very true. So good. Kimbo, good afternoon to you. Good afternoon on this fine day. It's Crosshammer. Weather is nice. Hornchurch is basking sunshine. Everyone's talking to each other. Michael, hope you're well. Sharky's in the house. Ludders is there. I'm just going through. Moby's there. Oh, God. Artel's there. Oh, dear. I'm very well, Kimbo. Hope you're well. Afternoon, Rob. English Yardy. Jesus. Evening to Dave in Brisbane. What's the chit-chat about 40,000 come? Wow, innit? Well, 30,000 turned up at Barcelona, weren't it? With around 15,000 getting into the stadium. Now, apparently, we're already a bit wise to this. So, it's West Ham and Frankfurt and the police. They're all making sure that they get 3,000. That's it. Now, they reckon there was I think it was the Frankfurt version of These at Mother Brown was saying how creative they are. So, but they've just said, look, if you're in the wrong space, you're getting chucked out straight away. So, we shall see. We can play Rice top dollar because our squad is so small. Do not put your house on Rice staying, says Paul. Well, we'll just see about that. It was widely reported yesterday that West Ham have zero concerns over Declan Rice's commitment to the cause as the summer transfer looms. A top club insider has said despite being linked to other clubs, Declan is focused on life at West Ham for the next 12 months minimum. However, there is acceptance after ongoing talks that Declan is desperate to win things, which why wouldn't he want? Of course he wants to win things, and that if he can't do that with us, he'll be looking to do that as elsewhere, and perhaps as early as maybe next summer elsewhere. Potentially. Talks between the club, Declan, and his agent, who is his dad, Sean, have been 100% amicable. The captain has informed the club outright that he has no plans to hand in any kind of transfer request and intends to give his all until his last day in a claret and blue shirt, as you would imagine with someone like him. It's realistic to believe that the Hammers can't give him, it is realistic to believe that if the Hammers can't give him the trophies he wants, he could be looking to move on next summer with 3 years left, including the year left option on top. His value would not be reduced from around the 150 million anyway the Hammers want. So, both sides are entirely aware of that situation and happy to see where it goes over the next 12 months. With the club obviously desperately hoping we can win trophies that will keep Declan at the club. That has not caused any rift with Declan accepting the decision, and he has told the Irons that his focus is now on football. There have been no bids tailored for Declan, and the suitors are dwindling. Man City are set to obviously buy Haaland, so that's 70-80 million they're going to be spending. Chelsea's ownership is up in the air. Man United could well fail to qualify for Europe, so we don't know what's going to happen, particularly after yesterday's debacle. 4-0, Jesus. So the Irons subsequently spend the next year trying to convince Declan to stay, with the Hammers willing to pay him in excess of £200,000 a week. If the worst case scenario happens and were to pan out and Declan were to leave next summer, the World Cup would actually increase his asking price, and the Hammers would negotiate in good faith with whoever who would come in with an offer, providing it met the board's values set by the board, which we said roughly was about 150 million, weren't it? And with potentially the Irons set to spend in the summer, the club are hopeful of more success next season, possibly Champions League qualification if we win the Europa League. Both this season and next season could be decisive. So that's the news. So the news is he doesn't want. He's not looking, and so that's what the news that's come out. So that's what we're reporting back to you guys. What do you think about that? After the Oz, hope you're well. Ballon Dawson, someone will take it some bloke called Jurgen for next Thursday. Seems good, seems fair enough. They'll be given Frank Curters when we play them. West will make some dosh. Man, you're not happy. Liverpool forced them to stay in the last 20 minutes and watch the game. I did see a lot of West Ham fans and Leon. I mean, that's the thing, lads, isn't it? It's quid pro quo, isn't it? End of the day, we have a lot of, when we're going away, if we can't get in officially, then fans go in and try and get tickets. So why is the outcry that they're going to do it to us? You can't, it's the same principle, if we only had a small, they got 3,000 allocation, and they want more tickets. Well, they have to buy more tickets, so it's the same as us. It's like we had a small allocation, was it 2,800 for Leon, something like that? There was a lot more than 2,800 people there because there was people in the home end. Where's the difference? Where's the difference there? I don't see it. If it becomes in the sum of 120 million, he is gone. I don't think a bid will come in for him in the summer. In all honesty, I don't think so. I don't think it. You think about it. Chelsea's up in the air, and we don't know with the new owners, and we don't know. City aren't going to want to spend it. They're pretty much, Haaland's going to be their marquee signing. He's a marquee signing, so the only it could be abroad. But I don't know if they would up sticks. He's only 22, 23. He's relatively young. He's still got two big moves in him. Really, he's got 3 years at each club, or 4 years. He's got a couple of big moves on him. So I could see him going to. The only other team who could compete financially would be someone like Real Madrid, who are no interested in him, but. Are they going to pay £150 million, under over £100 million for a defensive midfielder in their eyes? Definitely are. He'll win the no higher honour, indeed. He will indeed. Must be a massive upscale on his new contract. Well, I think it will. I think the idea is he doesn't. He's still under contract. He's still got 3 years. He's got another year option on that. So in theory, we could dig our heels in and not say for 4 years, and then lose nothing and lose him for nothing at the end of the season, end of that 4 years, or we can do that and then give him a new contract. Obviously, by doing that, you'd get a new extension because you have to offer him a longer contract. You can't just give him a contract on the same number of years. You have to give him an additional year at least. So it'll go to a 4-year deal and a 5-year deal. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen. But as you said, it wasn't Sean. It was Clouton Hugh. It wasn't Sean reporting that one. But yes, so that's what they're saying. Would not win anything at Man United. Chelsea not win nothing this year. Indeed, and actually, to be honest, if Man City went and bought bloody went and bought bloody Haaland. That's pretty much the league tied up, I'd say, to be honest. So it could even be the Champions League as well. So, 200 grand a week. If we do win does that mean we'll be off as he has won a trophy, or will he stay to win more? Good point, lads. Good point. I think he would stay, because that would obviously mean Champions League football, wouldn't it? And for any professional footballer, that's the top in the club game, isn't it, to play in the Champions League? So and then the next one is to win the Champions League and to win the Premier League, those type of things. So look, he's 22. I don't expect him to stay forever. I don't that type of Mark Noble, Billy Bonds, Alvin Martin, those Steve Potts, those types of players you don't get anymore now. It's and it's about, I think there's a lot more fluidity with football now, and I still have these rose-tinted glasses that he'd stay forever, but it's not going to happen. I can see Rice running down his contract. He would be seen to sign a new deal without a sensible release clause. Indeed, yeah. Wouldn't put it past him, I gather. Rice kissed the badge. Does that mean anything? He did. He snogged it. Didn't just kiss it. He snogged it. It's not about wages. It's about honours. We need to invest to start winning. We do. We get in Champions League, we'll be able to attract better players. Surely the difference is that Lyon had 10,000 unsold, will sell out their stadium. Well, we'll sell out our stadium anyway, won't we, Jazza? I mean, we'll sell out our stadium. And there's people who resell their tickets, and they do resell their tickets. And, whether it is to John or Jurgen. Some people don't care. That's horrible to say, Jazza, but it is. So I think it's the club are saying, look, if you buy tickets and you're not a West Ham and you're in the wrong end, you're going to get chucked out. And that's what basically they're saying. And the Frankfurt lot, we feel but that's the rules. Them's the rules. Who has 120 million for a defensive midfielder? Only Man U. It's true. That's right, true. And I can't see that happening. Sorry, but good luck, mate. I hope you well, man. Hope you're have mental health. Look, end of the day, Paul. If you need, and if you need anyone to chat to you, mate, look, give us a shout. WestHamNetwork@gmail.com. Always an ear to listen to you, mate. Always an ear to listen to you. Foundation playing the quarterfinals of the JPL Shield this Saturday, 1:30 kickoff at Woodlands Basildon School. There we go. We haven't got Chelsea to Sunday, so if you fancy going to go and watch the Foundation play at Oakland School, Basildon, 1:30 kickoff. The Foundation are playing the quarterfinals. Who are they playing, James? Who are they playing? Is Chelsea still the biggest threat? They are the biggest threat, but under a previous management regime, I don't think they were. Personally, I mean, he's become a West Ham fan, but he was a Chelsea fan. Go back to your boyhood club, yeah. But it's up in turmoil at the moment. And it's a big move. This move is a big move. Him to wait 12 months, see how the land lies, see how Man United take on when Ten Hag takes on, see how Chelsea start looking with a post-Abramovich world. There's no point jumping. He's got time in his hand. And that's what I think. It's like, look, he's loving time at West Ham at the moment. And so if he can progress that, and again, next season, he'll be the main man. No Noble will be around to hand the armband to, no one to share it. I know that's not really high up. Deck does it deliberately to show respect and to show respect to Mark, but still, doesn't have to do it anymore. He'll be the top boy, so we'll see. Do we try to make a one-man club, or should we cash out at some point to maintain our long... Who knows? I'd love him to be a one-man club, and to be honest, that would solidify his reputation. I think. You look at like guys like Gerrard. You look at guys like Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher, John Terry. These guys sort of are a one-man club in that respect. They'd be more obviously. Terry went to Villa for a little bit, and he was us originally. But you know what I mean? Sort of that sort of, and obviously Gerrard went to LA Galaxy. They go down in legacy, and so look, we'll see. And I mean, as I said, look how we sort of the boys of '86 we still revere. They didn't win anything, but we still revere them. And if we, even boys, we've had people like Keith Robson, the boys of '75 who didn't. Obviously, they got to the final and lost to Anderlecht in the Cup Winners' Cup. With us, if he can lead a side which wins something, that's a huge thing for any to then look back on. I mean, Nobes is always going to be the last person to walk out the West, that last captain at bowling, the first captain at the London Stadium. But Declan could be the first person to have won a European trophy for West Ham in how many years? 65. Not counting the Intertoto. What's that? 60 years, something like that. Off the top of my head, just less than 57 years, something like that. That's a huge thing to have. And then, the first time walking out to a side in the Champions League football for West Ham. And there's loads. Hopefully we can win the Europa. We'll have a change of mind. I mean, it's a case of, it's not beyond his contract, but it's a case of next year whether he would, for me, if I was Declan Rice, in the day, I would probably sign a new contract on a lot more money than I'm on now. In clause, have a sort of a guaranteed release clause in there. And he can carry on regardless and still earn the money. And if people want to pay the money, they pay the money. If it's 150 million is the price tag, 150 million pounds the price tag. But he's on. I mean, look at Haaland. Haaland's going to go, for 67 million potentially to Man City. They're going to pay him £500,000 a week. He could be doing that. That's what I mean. Mental. Areola Pope. Everyone thought Man United would get top form when they signed. To be fair, they didn't. We can't be a man team. Be sad to see. He will be, but times are changing. Times change now. You don't get these one-man clubs anymore. Afternoon, David. Hope you well. I agree. Reselling's a different thing from Frankfurt buying tickets directly when they come out later. Yeah, I mean, if they resell it to him, then there's nothing that he can. To be honest, the fans should be reselling the tickets anyway. But they do, and that's a sad thing. You've got groups and people do send tickets and I think this is the other side. It's okay when it affects West Ham, but now it could, if it meant that Frankfurt fans. I mean, as I think Xavi said that it was it wasn't like a home game when there was like 15,000, but they were all dotted about all over the place. The Frankfurt lot, so it was almost like an away leg for them. So we need all the advantage we can get for this for next Thursday. Last night 8 million, Dawson 2 million, indeed. Rice might listen to Triple H. He did. Oh yeah, Triple H gave him a proper stay. Get rid of Yarman and bring up and free up wages for Areola is worth it. Is it? I mean, yeah. I mean, he'd be I think he's £125,000 a week or something like that. I think he's the top earner out of everyone because PSG's pay some of his wages. So that's how much he takes home a week, and then it's Yarma, I think, isn't it? It's ridiculous. Has made 30 appearances this season. His highest play rating has been 6.8. Yep, they want to get indeed Martin Lewis. Hopefully not Martin Lewis, the financial advisor. Only Europa League away game we haven't got in their end was Zagreb. It was only 1,000 odd went, and they gave us more tickets. That's what I mean. So we've always done it. So we see. Manager needs to sit down with Declan and chat. He's a quality player. He knows what we need is simple. We have to invest in our club to attract quality players. That's the bottom line. And we will do tonight, Hammer's headlines, 5 o'clock. We've got a little transfer rumour special. There's literally been a barrage of transfer rumours in the last 48, 72 hours. It's ridiculous or something. So they've literally opened the floodgates, it seems, in the last 3 or 4 days. So we'll go through all of them to check that out. As I said, if you're around here, why don't you give it a like and also hit the bell notification so you don't miss any time we come on again, because we'll be coming on. We're on every day, basically. Every day in April, pretty much, we're on. So you don't want to miss us. We're here every day anyway. Doesn't really matter. But anyway, be nice to hit the bell notification. Would we take I think it's Rashford, if we can, and Lingard? Don't know. Obviously, Rashford is a great player. And there was talk of us looking at him. But I think he's more likely to go to a bigger club, in all honesty, maybe a foreign club, maybe someone like a Real Madrid or a Barcelona. I think that's what he sort of needs. And we'll see about Lingard. Apparently some Serie A clubs have turned his head a little bit. So, but we'll see what happens. That's been reported a few weeks ago. So I still think Lingard's coming, but we'll see. If Rice gets a long-term injury, then we miss out on a ton of money to improve us. That's the risk you take, Jazza, isn't it? It's whether you run the risk, whether you keep him or twist or stick, innit? Went on to Fulham. Fulham in the Premier League next season. Unsurprisingly, obviously they were looking at Areola as well, and they were looking at Pope. So that's going to be quite interesting to see what happens in the summer. We did a show a couple of weeks, I think it was last week, about Areola, where PSG have basically signed one of the youth team players to a full contract and promoted them into the first team. So I think they've got 5 goalkeepers in terms of PSG. They've got Donnarumma, they've got Keylor Navas, they've got 2 more, and this young lad as well. So they've basically said that there's no future at PSG with him. So whether it's West Ham or Fulham, I think it's one or the other. I think we need Jesse now. We can't get him now. He's 30, so I doubt we'll get back in for him at 120. We go back in for him. We might do. We'll Suchek and Bogut Collins. I think that we'll need to tie them down. I'm sure. I mean, the Suchek negotiations broke down, wasn't it? They couldn't meet, but they finished amicably, if that makes sense, and they're going to go back in the summer, I believe, with more negotiations. Rush, you need a green screen or some sort. Oh no, because everyone does the Hammers background, and this is just different. No green screen. I don't like green screen. I might put a bookcase behind me. I've got loads of cool stuff like my Upton Park, not Lego, Blocko set and a few things. So I might do that, but I don't like that. I like it clean. But thanks anyway. Put in a major bid for my best mate, his best mate. Yeah, Mason Mount. We'll have Conor Gallagher going back in, Brozier coming back, maybe Mount. It could be surplus to requirements. Not 100%, but I think we'll have a new contract this year. I don't know, actually, man. You might be right. When Rice and pick up that trophy, Rice will want more with the massive Hammers, indeed. Callum's going to the Frankfurt game. Good on you, son. What's worse is the money that tickets are sold for to other Hammers. I do believe. What's the circumference around your head to the nearest mile? I haven't got a big head, Phil. Put these injuries... Let me just talk that. Put these injuries late in the season, otherwise you could have done them cheating. Cancel the games, and now indeed, mate. Are we cloning Dawson to make 3 more? Hopefully so. I'd be good. I want Nick Pope. Hope Burnley go down, so it'll be easier. I think so. I like Burnley though. They should take Nku. But he's smashing it for Leipzig at the moment. And I think he would be the one. And also there's the French guy as well, whose name mistakes me. Even if I did know the name, I'd mispronounce it horribly. But he's been looked at as well. I think Liverpool looking at him, and I think City looking at him as well. So there's like guys who would probably be cheaper, and actually than Declan Rice, because Declan Rice comes in with, he's already at that level with the British sort of levy as well in terms of costing more, so they may well look at it. The Newcastle will watch. They always do. Russ, if we sign Pope, you'll be playing Pope music. Well, there was no surprising that he played well on Sunday, didn't he? On Easter Sunday, to be honest. Love to see Chelsea beat the Arsenal Cheats tonight. That'd be good. And also Man United, they're on free. I didn't forget. Man United have got Liverpool, Chelsea, and Arsenal in the next 10 days or something like that. They're in real trouble. Apart from the stadium move, what should be West Ham's biggest regret of the last year? Selling Payet? No, I don't think so. I think they had to sell Payet. But they sold Payet because he weren't. I think reinvesting before going into the stadium. I think that was a regret. But I wouldn't say selling him, because you wouldn't want to sell someone who's that like disruptive influence. And not disrupting, but he doesn't want to be there. It permeates the rest of the team. But that's what I would say. We need to sign Areola. If not, Fulham will buy him. PSG will get him off the wages. Yeah, I think about 11 million in it. But I think we've got first dibs. Which biscuit would you eat from profile? Can't see, but big crust of cream. You mean no? I don't. No, it's not. It's not the name. It's going to really annoy me now. Google French midfield. I think he's like youth midfield. Nah, it's going to really annoy me now. And it's not Kamara. It's not Kamara. I'm gonna have to Google that and go through there. But he's a guy who's Eduardo Camavinga. I think that's him. Eduardo Camavinga. Camavinga. That's him. Is that him? He's at Real Madrid already. But okay, maybe he's already been signed. Ignore me. Right, everyone go through to Man U. They love a winker. They certainly do. I reckon our biggest regret is selling Haller. I reckon our biggest regret at the moment is selling Balbuena. Bloody Balbuena. At the moment, I think so. No, it was definitely it definitely was him. Was it him? Was it him? Oh, it's gonna really annoy me. There's things they've got so many. I mean, even the guy from Lyon, Cacaret. No, sorry, Fresh. You'd always tell me what it is. I think it's Cacaret. I mean, he's a great player from Lyon, and they're not getting they're not going to get European football this year. So they've got loads, and obviously Boubacar Kamara is available in a free transfer this summer as well. So there's loads, and I think I've got a feeling that Deck's probably a few down because I think again they've got so many people who would probably be cheaper than Declan. I mean, even they've got like, I don't know, Kakare, he's 20 million, 25 million. He's not 125 million. They've got 100 million quid left. Michael's got them on FIFA. Big regret was bringing in Pala in as manager. Pellegrini. I think that's what you mean. That's the difference between us and Man United. They keep their players. They don't want to be there, indeed. No regrets. No biggest regret is Payet or Arnautovic. Yeah. Terry's in the house. Terry from Hammers Bakes. Hammers Bakes. Get your lovely West Ham cakes. Sending your box out tomorrow. Oh yes. I might try and keep them till for the old the Chelsea watch along. Or check them out. Check Terry out on Twitter. Hammers Bakes. If you've got like a kid, if your dad's or got birthdays coming up, or you want something a bit different than just cake, like a Colin the Caterpillar cake. Terry does some great brownies, all Hammers stuff, all coloured. People would love them, so check them out, mate. It's brilliant. Biggest regret, letting Di Canio get old. Unfortunately, there's nothing you could do about that. Or Boogers to buy a caravan. I think there's so many. I might do one day. We'll do like one of these shows where we do this sort of what they called, like sliding doors shows, where we do like what would have happened. Let me just send a quick text. Lee from the Inclusive Irons just text me. Great day yesterday. Great evening. Really good fun. Wait, tick. Let me just say that. Sorry. What we've got here, biggest regret. What is been doing West Ham Scout? Haven't heard anything from him. Plenty of good quality players out there. English Yardie, there's some good names that we've been linked with, and I think we're going to be linked with a lot more of these under the radar names. So I think there's going to be a lot of people turn up, and you'll be underwhelmed because he's not like a full international, but he's 27, he's 24, and he's there's a few that we mentioned tonight at Hammers Headlines who I've never heard of, or two I've never heard of, so I had to go back and check it. Biggest regret was feeling brave enough to get a burger at the Upton Park. Very true. But they were a special price at the end, weren't they? Always like £1 a burger. What's your favourite type of jam? Apricot for me. Not a jam person, but I'd probably go to strawberry, just for the old scones more than anything. West Ham conceded 3 goals in a match this season 3 times. Have done it 6 times. Man United 4 or 5. And Arsenal the other. There we go. And we've scored at home in every game in the Premier League this season. Letting Hayden Fox go to Yates's, indeed. Unless Barca and Rio come in, I don't see Grice leaving. Harley, my thoughts exactly. They're the only teams realistically. Barcelona probably haven't got as much money as they haven't got that much money. But definitely Real Madrid would be the only option, I think. What about this Argentina we could get on loan for the rest of the season? He's a centre back. Really? I don't think so. Not going to happen, mate. Not going to happen. Biggest regret, letting Tompkins go. Well, immediately afterwards, you're totally right, because what happened was didn't we have a similar situation to now? We only had went down to one recognised centre back, I think, at the time. But I think our biggest regret at the moment is letting Balbuena go. I think, as I said, he was particularly also he was playing in the Russian league, and he's still playing in the Russian league. Thanks to the Premier League not letting us, we could have probably got him back, couldn't we? If they would have let us do it. I need to stop signing unknown players and start spending real cash. It's getting on my nerves. Callum, yeah, but then unknown players, Jarrod Bowen, Thomas Souček. I mean, these are linchpins in our team now. So I think, I think that there's a balancing act. If it means we can get better, obviously the free transfer signings this year are going to be huge across the board. There's loads of free transfers. But then that will free up more transfer budget to then spend on your star striker. If it, or if we got someone like Belotti in a free transfer, and then that money could be reallocated to a superstar centre back or whatever. I don't know. I hope we get Lingard and some. We'll see. We shall see. Do you like marmalade? No, not really. West Ham record versus the Ollie Derby, Man United and Liverpool. Goals conceded 7, scored 7. Yep, it's about right. About right, isn't it? Indeed, kid. That's what we're saying. He has no intention to hand in a transfer request in the summer. Looking forward to the next 12 months at least with West Ham. Wants to win things, and fair enough. Fair enough. That's all I'm saying. Letting Obiang go was a big regret. Unused and leaving 2 left a huge hole in the middle for a few years that exposed Noble. Hoping to get Pedro on the channel soon. That'd be interesting. Can we not call in Ginger Pele? He'd love it, wouldn't he? Him and Dawson in the middle. That'll be a lot of people's wet dreams in terms of centre-back pairings at the moment, wouldn't it? Biggest regret not signing Neymar. Biggest regret not signing Shevchenko. Biggest selling Ray Houghton. We've got loads. Who else? Marcelo Salas as well. Didn't sign him either. There's loads, absolutely loads. What we got? Oh, loads of questions. We can see 9 goals in 2 games. Never mind, like 6 versus mental. Can we just re-register Stuart Pearce? Probably. I reckon Kevin Nolan to do a better job. Defend midfielder sort of moving to defence. I think he'd do a good job. Like Antonio needs another striker with him, and we need at least 2 midfielders. We do. No regrets letting Roberto go. Spot on. You could forget Obiang's crack against Spurs. Our biggest regret this season might not be bringing in a centre back in January. Yep, indeed. Our biggest regret was Harry letting Shevchenko slip. He did. Russ, question mark. How much is West Ham invested in analytics? It's big in American sports. Moyes is very hot on it. So I think they've been investing a lot of time and money into analytics and recruitment sort of set up as well. Rob Newman, obviously Rob will want analytics and stuff as well. So I believe it's an area which he's really looking into. Favourite soft drink? Cream soda for me with a tinge of cordial. No. Pepsi Max Cherry. Is that James Corden? I wish it was James Corden's. I wish I had James Corden's bank account, but no, unfortunately not. It's not. DJ Russie B. Often mistaken, never imitated. Shevchenko was not Shevchenko. Chicharito was superly underused as well. He was indeed. Didn't fit the system, did he? And we could have had Ronaldo before he was in his prime, but he turned down the offer. Indeed. Nolan would have got sent off and missed the rest of the season. Yeah, it's not Christmas, so he's okay. It could be worse. We could have Maguire. I thought 4 centre-backs is enough. See, sadly, 3 have got injured. I think we all thought 4 would be enough to get through. And usually it is. But and they've rotated in terms of the only one who's not there. He's still going. It's bloody Dawson, isn't it? It's like a Volvo. You know, he's like a Discovery, like a 4x4. He keeps plugging it. You just patch him up. He keeps going, and I love him for that. How many players can you name are similar to Antonio? Traore is similar to Antonio. Teiwa, I can't pronounce it. Animomi, the guy who plays for Union Berlin, he's exactly the same as Antonio. That point it. Crowd to play 4 or 5 games now. I don't think so. Who had heard of Mahrez when he joined half the found now play? Exactly, Keith. So and that's all about recruitment. So it is about buying these players who, I think it's a balancing act. You want the big names to appease fans because they want to see big names, but also we want to see development as well. And I think, Bowen, 17, 19 million quid, same for Souček. You could sell them for 50 million, no problem at all, without even blinking next week. That's that, and they've developed, and we've seen them grow, and yeah, I think that's the same. But it's a balancing act because you want to see big names. We're now in this sort of like top 6, top 7 tier at the moment, so we should be having top 6, top 7 signings. We're not in the top 4 tier. We're sort of in this weird one in the middle, sort of a 3 or 4 little mini league. But it's. I hope we get a fine balance in the summer. Who was most influential for us out of Ian Wright, Di Canio, or Sheringham? Di Canio? Well, no, actually, different eras. I don't say Wright was really influential. Di Canio was, and then Sheringham was definitely in that sort of resurgence because he had a big effort. He had a big sort of influence on the younger players as well. And hopefully we get Teddy on soon. We should sign a Rigi or Tamikas. Yeah, no, I think we should get him. Bring back a Lunga. Trying to get him on the channel, actually. Read The Nowhere Man, a book about scouting, and there's a few chapters of Moyes. A great insight into his methods. There we go. Dawson goes through him without getting injured. He doesn't get injured. He gets injured every day. He gets literally injured every game. He breaks his nose every game, it seems. He literally could probably do that with his nose, and it'll just go flat one side to the other. So definitely should get United. Sir Hennessy, we've got rich owners. Sod it. Just go and get Mbappe and Messi. Sod it. 100,000, 10,000 less fans at Chelsea tonight. Really interesting. Red Bull football is heavily investing in analytics. To me, it's like grooming a player for a bigger club. Yeah, no, I get that. Reese, hope you're well. When are you appearing on Jack's podcast? I'm too busy, Reese. I'm too busy. He keeps asking me. He's like, Jack, just put no, just leave it. Just get Stephen Bartlett or Rob Brydon or someone else on. I'm not. One day. How many players West Ham have played against Europe have impressed you? For me, the Seville left back, Leon right back, definitely. The Japanese guy versus Genk, indeed. There's also a guy, he won't play in the first leg, but he'll play in the second leg. He got sent off. Evan Ndikia, who's Ndikia. He's a French centre back. He's like 21. I think he's 21, 22, and he's very good. And he can also play left back as well. The Liverpool recruitment is the way to go. Spend big and you end up like Man United. Well, I think it's spending right at the right time. Like the whole Diaz thing, they had Diaz earmarked already for the summer, and then Spurs were sniffing around, and West Ham apparently, and they just gone in and went, yeah, okay, we'll get him. There's the money, dosh. Under Glen Roeder, we had a deal in place to buy the better check, but we got relegated. It never happened. Love it. Would you let Areola go to Fulham if we got Mitrovic? No. Mitrovic ain't off. No, I don't like. Sheringham was toxic in the dressing room, according to a former player. It's funny, isn't it? Because I've heard reports that he was really good, but we'll see. Rather have Carvalho. He's going to go to Liverpool. That's going to happen. Would you take a punt at Rufer from Rangers? Well, he's scoring a lot of goals, isn't it? Wouldn't mind seeing us doing a couple of punts. Do you know what I mean? Just a couple of good ones. Just having a go and seeing what happens. But how much is a punt? 10 million quid a punt? 12 million quid a punt? I don't know. That's the thing. It used to be like a couple of million, but now the punt is not too. It's more like 10 million, which seems a bit too much. Dawson's going to end up looking like Steve Bruce at this rate. He's going to look like my rugby teacher. His nose could just push flat against his nose. It got broken so many times. What subject did you study in your youth? I did politics and media studies at university. There we go. And drama. I was a big fan of drama. Freshly whipped and bleeding profusely. Fair enough. Any news of Kuntrinski? No news in terms of his money yet. But apparently I was reading an article by Dr. Dan, Dr. Dan Plumley, who is a football expert, financial expert, apparently. And He reckons that we're on course to be in the top 20 again of revenue generators in world football this season. Based on the money invested and Danny's money and all that type of stuff. So, nothing's come out since we last spoke about it, but we'll see. And Nesri impressed and would have scored if it wasn't for Ariel's wonderful save. I mean, obviously, Nesri, he's a guy who surprised me because I always thought he's a lot smaller, but he's actually quite a tall lad. He's about 6'2", weren't he? A punt is about 15 million, I think. Yeah, indeed. Were you a young? No, went to Loughborough. I like Harry Potter's Lewis. Yeah, exactly. Moyes was at Hull watching the Hull game Easter Monday. And that was reported he was the target he was looking at. Once Deck is my cakes, he'll be... Cheers for the shout, Russ. Terrier, is Deck... If you sent Deck some, does Deck have some of your cakes? If so, he'll be honoured to know that I'm going to be eating the same cakes. Baloo McCarthy. Tevez. Imagine if we had a proper team behind that. Mental, innit? Mental squad. Any news on Vuma return? It said 4 weeks. Well, 4 weeks is basically almost the end of the year, isn't it? End of the season. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think you're going to see him this side. And possibly just speculating. I don't think you might not see Issa Diop in a West Ham shirt ever again. Because if the reported interest to Leon happens in the summer, then he's off. So there we go. When you look at the punts we've made, Bowen, Vlasic varies at... but it's different punts, isn't it? I mean, Benrahma and Vlasic, educated punts. I mean, Dawson was a punt, and it was just a loan deal. It was like, just get it done. Bowen, there was a... But, yeah. I mean, look at Dawson. That's just a punt. He hasn't been frozen. No, apparently, someone... I think it was Kieran Maguire said that it wasn't... He still has access to his funds or something like that. There's lots of weirdness about it. How many years does Lingard have at the top? Well, I mean, he's 30. He's 30 this year. But for me, he hasn't played... I mean, I think Kane's played 100 games more or something like that. So I reckon he's got a good at least 3 years. 3 years at the top. Bar injuries. Most overrated chocolate bar, twirl. Can't stand them. I think we'll get 2 or 3 in the championship and then 3 Bs, maybe 1. Yeah, no, I think James, it'd be lovely if that happened. Any famous sports play? Not really. I used to play rugby with Volly Smith, who was an England captain, who went on to play for England. But my mate was called Ollie Smith as well, and he thought, and when he said he was Ollie Smith, they went, "Oh, yeah, you need to go through to the tryouts." We went, "Oh, brilliant!" And they realised it was a different Ollie Smith. But he's played with Joe Worsley as well. Not really. What do you make of Voghurst? Nasty bit of work, but I like him. I'd like him at West Ham. 60 points with European football, lack of depth. Catgate also having incredible. It scored the none, scoring everything. In it, what a roller coaster season we've had, Belcar, innit? If you go through it, all the different things where you just listed them there. Catgate, centre-back crisis, down to the bare bones, European football, behind closed doors games, scored every home game. It's mental. Absolutely mental. 50 is unbelievable. Surely if he has an ACL, it's a long-term recovery. He's probably fit. To, I think they'll still take him though. I'll be there, Brad. I'll be there playing the tunes as always. And hopefully we'll be there. We'll do the lunchtime show from outside the stadium next Thursday as well. 12 just changed their recipe. There's a new East. Tastes much sweeter and artificial now. There we go. So even more underrated. Opinion on the Batman was all right. It's all right. Should footballers wear headgear? Yeah, I think they should actually. Antonio's 32, and he said he could play for another 5. No, I can't see Antonio playing how Antonio plays at the age of 37, unless he goes back to right back, or because. No, I can't see that happening. I can't see it. How do you get into it? Well, not really DJing as such. I mean, I used to do it at university. I did it at the radio show at uni, and then I just carried on doing it. But I'm not a DJ. I'm not like we'll have on Thursday. We'll have Big Tony Parry, who's a brilliant, lovely bloke. But he'll be doing it. It's great because I can sit there and listen to him. He's really good. Part of the week. Find the mini versions don't taste the same of the full bars, especially double deckers. Well, there we go. On that bombshell, ladders. On that bombshell. club just announced a 3,000 allocation for Brighton. Obviously, Mark Noble's last game, or it could be lifting the Europa League trophy instead. Imagine if Bonner comes back in the second half off the bench and scores on his bullet headers. Well, he's on the grass, isn't he? I don't think you'd risk him, but he said maybe coming off the bench. Could be, maybe. Maybe, just maybe. He looked very happy after the game last time, if you saw that. So there we go. But yeah, as I said, what we've got tonight, we've got the Julian Dix from the archives. It's about an hour and a half long. It's a proper show. So make sure you check that out. Martin interviews him. It's when he's in, I think he's in La Manga during, I think around 2006, where he was obviously training to become a professional golfer. And it's a really good interview all about his time at West Ham, going from the beginning and all his career. So make sure you check that out. That'll be really, really fun. And then tomorrow night, we've got Stuart Slater doing a live Q&A. It's your show. There's no script. It should be Slater Unscripted. That's what I might call it now. Slater Unscripted. So it's all about the questions you give us, and then we go through them. It's a good fun. And as I said, we've got some really good guests lined up for the next few weeks. We've got Trevor Morley lined up. We've got Tim Breaker, Matty Holmes, Peter Butler, and hopefully get Bish as well. Bish is we still got to get that one with Bish as well. So loads to come on, and hopefully we'll have. Inclusive Iron. We're going to be putting that video up as well. But I need to do it. I've got to wait for to Lee to bring back my microphone. Get on there. If we get a striker and someone does shift position, no. I just think then you've got two strikers. Doubt Noble will lift the Europa Trophy in Brighton. Surely he'll do it. Yeah, that's what I mean. It won't be the last game because then he'll be lifting the Europa Trophy. That's what I mean, Jazza. Listening to you and reading the chat is good for saving off long-term dementia. That's good. I'm glad to know. Oggy is solid defender and fit. No one noticed how awful we were at throw-ins. I am. Richard. Me and Ludders, that's all we talk about is throw-ons. You don't have to throw it forward. Throw it back and maintain possession. The best teams do that. We've started to do it a little bit more. But all we do is we throw it up to Antonio, who loses the header, and we lose the ball. Winds me up. Final is after the City game. Oh, sorry, Jazz. I do apologise. I'm not taking a piss because it is, mate. And I totally agree. It's good for me because I've got to read all this stuff, and it's rather than reading emails. Laters with Slaters. That's what we call it. Why do our players shoot straight at the goalie? We 1-1 keeps. Oh, I don't know. Throw-ins are awful, and also the referees never pick up on foul throws as well. Liverpool have a throwing coach. What a great. Who's that? Rory Delap? Who is it? Anyway, peeps, I've got to shoot. Hope you have a good rest of the day. As I said, we'll be back here 5 o'clock for Hammer's Headlines, Transfer Rumour Special. And then tonight we'll be doing From the Archives with the Julian Dix interview. And then tomorrow Anton's going to be doing the lunchtime, the daily shows and the Hammer's Headlines. And I'll be back in the evening to do Laters with Slaters. I think that now, and so we've got some really good fun. And I said we still got to do the Noble Era as well. I've got all the with me and West Ham clips. Have been doing this. Everyone that Mark Noble's played with in chronological order. I've got it already, so we've got to do that show as well. But then we'll start to get ready for Chelsea as well. But anyway, au revoir, as they were saying last Thursday to Leon fans. Indeed, we were the Kings of Leon. I said that first, I must admit. It's a great throw, but he rarely does, indeed. He's using the box trying to score, isn't he? Cross, take care, my friend. And take care to you guys. If you're new around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe. Maybe become a channel member. There's about 50 of us. We do monthly draws. The Luckster, if you're in the chat, please message us because you won the first draw for a West Ham signed shirt by the entire first team. Please email us, westhamnetwork@gmail.com. Then we can send you your thing to the Luckster. Well done. And so we'll have more of those coming up soon. So take care, everyone. Stay safe. Wash those hands. Stay lucky. Stay cheeky. And I'll speak to you very, very soon. Adios. Adios. Yeah. Adios, my friends.
say, want to let it change. It's like a family tree, part of you and part of me. And if we should separate,